During the third millennia, in a strange place known as the United States of America, a war was brewing. Brainwashed Marxist idiots in colleges across the nation clashed with equally brainwashed, anime-obsessed neo-Nazis. Starbucks windows were shattered, Dodge Challengers were totaled, and Muslims realized that rental vans were cheaper than plane tickets. Skinny, anemic millennials from coast to coast were hospitalized with life-changing injuries such as sprains and first-degree burns. And the heroic knights of 4chan rose up to defeat Shia LaBeouf and drive the evil villain into a descent towards a madness the likes from which he would never recover. As the enemies of freedom destroy the cities that raised them, as America begins to resemble an Iron Maiden album come to life, two heroes have risen up to fight against the culture of utter madness and restore sanity the only way they know how, by refusing to take any of it seriously. Mersh.
And I said, hey, oi, let's chop your penis off. Oi, can I have me penis back? Why do you have dreadlocks, you white oppressor?
Royce Lopez.
Always be aborting. A always be aborting. Always be aborting.
Breaking news.
Breaking news, guys.
You're hearing it only on our show first. Apparently Donald Trump has worked out a deal. He will get the wall. Unfortunately, it's going to be a rock climbing wall.
Oh, no! The other side's going to be a slide. You climb the wall up and you just
lands into a nice, clean, chlorinated pool. And then you immediately get a welfare check. Fucking A.
Oh, shit. He was a boy, he went to girl, now he wants to be a boy again.
Oh, God, just stay a girl if you're going to be this indecisive.
I think Caitlyn Jenner's a handsome woman with a great penis. Look, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with trannies. I just don't want to put that one's cock in my mouth.
Bound forever by their mutual love of smoking marijuana, Simpsons references and affection towards Alex Jones, these two men have joined forces to bring you uncut news and opinions directly from the belly of the beast. Saving Western civilization one childish dick joke at a time, here they are, your new heroes of the Imperium, Mersh and Royce Lopez.
Welcome aboard, you glorious sons of bitches. It's Friday the 13th, which Royce just realized.
Spooky.
Ooh. Oh, speaking of which, I didn't go downstairs and get more weed. Guys, Revenge of the Sis. It's your favorite right wing, something or other. And we're happy to have you, Mike Shuley, Royce Lopez. It's Friday, we're distracted.
Why do we always
do shit going on?
Why do we always do things before? Like, notice always something before the show. Like yesterday, by the way, update on my account. No word back from Facebook. I filled everything out. I have not been told anything, so I'm just assuming I'm never getting it back.
Oh, that's fair.
Mike got his phone that he's been waiting a long time to get, his new phone, and then he's been hitting refresh all day to make sure it got here. We go to the front door, and there was a note that says, "Sorry we missed you," by USP, United States Postal Service. We hopped in the car. We found the guy.
Chased him down. Got the phone.
Beat him up. No, we didn't beat him up. We got the phone. And now he's trying to get it activated.
I have spent fucking 2 hours trying to get this phone activated, and now I'm starting to suspect that I may have bought some sort of shady phone.
No, it says not available for activation online because it's not one of Boost's phone. You need to call them and they'll do it for you over the phone. They do it on purpose, so you buy one of their phones. I'm just letting you know.
I don't like or trust anyone.
Helping you out here.
I don't like.
Neither do I. That's why I know I'm not getting my Facebook account back.
Somehow, some way, the Jews are getting my money from this too.
Yeah. No. Hey, you know what? It's a Friday show. It's a fun show.
I've decided, though, if you guys if you don't use your phone a lot, I do use Freedom Pop, which is like a really shitty service, but it's free. It's literally free. You pay like a penny online for a SIM card. They'll mail it to you. You activate. It's like it's like old school cell phones. You get 200 minutes. You get like 20 megabytes, and that's it.
Right.
But if you don't use it a lot, it's great. So I'm gonna downgrade my old phone. I'm not gonna sell it. And I'm going to go back to having just free service on this, which I can barely use this phone. And this will be the basic bitch phone where people can actually get in touch with me. And then this bad boy is just going to be all...
It is a nice-looking phone.
It's all right, but this case is going to Oh, this case is gonna. Oh boy,
Well,
I'm nervous.
we're
We're gonna IRL stream. I'm gonna have Streamlabs on this bitch. We're gonna go nuts with this. Thought patrols, all kinds of fun stuff coming. And then that way, when we go on our trip,
and if you want to help us get to our trip to DC, streamlabs.com/Revenge of the Sis. That's how you help us out.
yeah, because
Get there.
you know I have my legal issues, so I can't drive. So Royce generally does most of the driving.
All
and
the
when we
driving.
stop and rest. But then I have to, I do the streaming. I keep the stuff going with the fans, and I drink. So I got to make sure that we're ready to go with that.
Also, second hour, we have a guest. We have Mitch Heil from the Gray State movie and documentary.
Who is he again?
Okay. You know that person we've been doing radio for like 11 years?
There's a lot of those guys.
Okay, well, specifically the one that every time something terrible happens, he just peppers you with more insults and makes you feel bad.
Oh, the autistic veteran one.
Mitch!
Yeah.
That one.
Nice, one of my faves.
Yeah, he's going to be on. That's going to be fun.
He literally, the basis of my friendship with Mitch at this point is just something bad happens in my life. He pops up to make a really mean comment and then disappears for about 8 months.
Yeah, that's Mitch.
It's always hilarious. So
That is Mitch. He's like a really, really mean vampire.
yeah, when I used to have a lot of bad relationships and I was always like fucking destroyed over some woman, it was like he would always be the one that pops up. Wow, it's strange. It's like almost as if doing the same thing over and over again is bad for you. And it just disappears. You're like, you son of a bitch. Love Mitch. But yeah, we're going to talk about Mitch's old buddy, who they made a documentary about. Mitch was part of the original film project. If you guys have never heard of Gray State, you can have fun Googling that today while we look into it. But it's a very sad tale. Very sad tale.
Speaking of sad tale, in the UK, anti-Trumpers have been raising money, making a scene. They finally, we were talked about in the show, the Trump baby balloon that they were making, which is supposed to be
This massive balloon is going to fly fucking over London like a big looming monster, right?
30,000 pounds. We're not talking about Amy Schumer. We're talking about how much money they
Talking about
spent.
sterling, silver pounds.
Yes.
Great Britain money.
30,000
James
pounds.
Bond money.
Yes, exactly.
James Bond money.
So,
So about 40 grand, 42 grand, I think. Yeah.
and
In U.S. money, in real money.
it was
And
underwhelming to say the least.
Dude, for 35 grand. Like, do you understand how 4chan gets together and they raise money for an operation? That money is used frighteningly efficiently. You know what I mean? They don't rip people off. They really do want to build a flaming drone to take a flag out. They don't fucking play around. These liberal scummy fucks. You just paid for some kind of other riot or something to burn in a city somewhere.
First off. Secondly, he's not the president of your country. Why are you so fucking obsessed? Like, that's the thing I don't get. Like, not that I agree with it, but I understand the protest in this country about our president. I get that. I get it because, okay, it's your country. Whether you agree or you don't, I get it. It's your country. But whenever it's another country protesting, it's like, you motherfuckers are protesting this, but not the fucking fact that there's people being raped on the streets or child sex cults. Like, that's fine.
Isn't this also oddly kind of distastefully American thing to do?
It is.
Like, isn't this a childishly sort of American thing to do?
It is. It really is something that's fucking childish. Well, this. Let's play the video of the them talking about it while they were inflating it. Now, mind you, they only had a permit. Oh, you got a permit for that Trump balloon?
They did have a license for that balloon.
for only 2 hours, though. That's all they were allowed.
$35,000.
So
pounds.
Let's play.
In here, Mike's going to come in and have a look. This is the Trump belly.
$35,000 balloon. Now they're going to start inflating it, but the belly's pretty much the heart of it. It's not even taller than a person.
It's pathetic.
Yeah. But by the way, while $42,000. Hey, Jamie's, do me a favor. Tell me what you could have bought in America for $42,000. Okay, I just want to know. I want to know, in comparison, what this money could be spent on.
Being inflated as we speak. And just if Mike looks to the right of this as well, we can see that is Mr. Trump's head and his head.
President Trump.
Now,
President.
do you know how much it costs for a Macy's Day balloon to be made.
How much?
If you wanted to get your balloon into the Macy's parade, you would have to pay $190,000. But that covers $90,000 for you to be allowed in the parade.
Oh.
Plus all the New York City cha-ching, cha-ching, but once the fucking...
How much do they charge you to knock down light poles and kill people?
Seriously, but once the fucking, Italian mafia guys and the crooked Irish police union guys and the city folk, once they all get a taste, the balloons themselves don't cost that much to make. This is a travesty. You got robbed.
Anonymous Hobo says you could buy a brand new 4-door F-150 and still have a few thousands left over. You could buy 2 Honda Civics. All right, let's keep on.
Hair yet to be inflated as well. Of course, a lot of controversy over this inflation, whether it should have been allowed. A lot of people saying, including one of our guests yesterday from Republicans overseas, it's cringeworthy. It's embarrassing for the UK government that said it can't.
It is. But by the way, it is cringeworthy. And I'll be honest with you. I'm going to say this again. It's not because I'm like, yeah, go Trump, fuck the liberals. If a bunch of fucking boomers did this, I would be fucking making fun of it just as much. If a bunch of boomers made an Obama balloon or made a Maxine Waters balloon, I'd be like, you fucking cornballs.
And they did. Look, conservatives did gross shit, but it was... Yeah. It's fucking stupid. Yeah, and even if a foreign country did it, you'd be like, nigga, don't disrespect my president. Like, you know what I mean? I'd have stuck up for Obama over you limey fags. Don't you fucking disrespect my man. Like, I don't like Obama, but that's our president to abuse. We make balloons about him, not you.
Not you.
Of course, is in a war of words with Mr. Trump yet again today. Should not have allowed this to happen. But let's speak to one of the organisers. Sheila Manon is one of the organisers.
Wow, she looks like your regular, typical British woman, right?
She is just a salt of the earth English person.
Look at that. Pip, pip, cheerio.
By the way, no, you're not kidding. That is what an English person looks like nowadays. You did it to yourselves.
Something that needs to point out, she's wearing a red hat in the style of a Make America Great Again hat, but it says Trump babysitter. By the way, you guys make fun of the hat all the time, but boy, do you steal it.
You love it, though.
It was such a good idea, and you guys are taking it, is what's happening.
Of the blimp protest. Actually, she is a official Trump babysitter, so says the hat as well. Okay, and the motif on the back.
Sheila, news?
This is the news. This is CNBC. This is CNBC.
Unbelievable.
This isn't some little
unfucking believable.
This is CNBC.
Tell us a little bit about this protest, why it's been so controversial.
Hey, bitch, you're on TV. Put a brush through your fucking nappy-ass hair.
And also, could you tell us, why is your hair so distressed? What have you been going through lately? Have you been in the humidity, or perhaps your diet is not... You don't have enough fish oil and essential oils in your diet for your stringy, horrible hair.
And why you think it's so important?
I think this is a massively important opportunity for people to exercise their right to protest, which is what we're doing.
Good. You know what, then? Why don't you go exercise your right to protest wherever your ancestors came from, you goddamn packy, you fucking curry-eating dissident. Get out!
In a very satirical way.
But wait a second, right to protest. This is, correct me if I'm wrong, Mike, because I'm not too big on international politics.
Yeah, I'm not too big on curry puss over here, but we all got to deal with our things.
Well, she is you can tell she's British. So look at the teeth.
Straight out of the big book of British smiles.
It is. So, question: this is the same government that has been arresting people for Twitter comments, right? And Facebook posts.
Yes.
This is the same government that's been raiding people's houses for.
Not only enforcing hate speech laws, but crusading against it proactively, yes.
Oh, okay. But this is what's important. Okay, cool. Got it. Just making sure.
In keeping with a strong tradition of British political satire.
Yeah, and look, we can go
back.
Oh,
wow, she is just all gums. That woman is all gums.
The Miley Cyrus disease.
The Spy Prince and Vanity Fair over 100 years or so, people take satire and really...
This girl's all gums and gumption.
Look at the characteristics and the actual physical features of politicians, and they extend those maybe. So you're right, it's a long tradition, but why do you think this one has been so controversial?
I think this one has been controversial, potentially...
Because we never did it to Obama or any liberal people. We just do it to conservatives.
Because actually it has resonated with so many people and it's become so popular because so many people have very strong opinion about President Trump. This isn't the first president and the first head of state to be criticized or protested.
How much money did you pocket, you fucking dirty bitch?
There's no way you're going to fucking convince me that $42,000, because I'm going to speak American money because that's what matters, $42,000 for that balloon. That's something that Mike and I could have made at Michael's for $2,000.
Act for coming to this country, but this one has definitely captured the hearts and minds of the British population because.
Hey, Mike, you think they would be allowed to do a representation of Allah in a balloon and that would get approved and they could fly that over? You think that'd be fine?
I got a question.
Yeah.
How come when someone like Tommy Robinson gets locked up and that speaks to the hearts and minds of many of your countrymen, why are they all dismissed as angry racists destroying the country? Why is it okay for you people to have outrage and not the people who, I don't know, look more like the folks in the paintings that founded the country?
Yeah.
Why is your rage?
Yeah, just because your answers just had curved swords, that's your fucking problem.
But that's what I mean. Why does your rage have more credibility to it than theirs? Fucking hate this woman.
So many people feel that strongly. People will be protesting today from all campaign issues, all walks around.
By the way, she, like most people that do protests, specifically on the left, she's not informed. You would think that she would be ready for this with talking points or something to say, but she's just babbling and stuttering, and she doesn't even know whether. There's like Occupy. They don't know what they're doing. Why are you there? What are you protesting?
They're not protesting.
Trump has nothing to do with your fucking country.
Most of these people aren't protesting.
They're just hanging out.
This is a business now.
Yeah.
This is a business. They raised 35,000 pounds. Okay? That's a lot of money. They blew it. I'm sure there were a lot of nights out planning and logistics. This is an industry now.
At the pub?
People are paying. People are making a career out of being activists. Mm-hmm. It's fucking disgusting.
So many different issues, whether it's about racism, treatment of migrants and
refugees. Of course,
refugees.
it's all right. Everything's about brown people and more brown people and more brown people. Is there anything else that you advocate for?
Pedophilia.
The refugee crisis, an attitude to climate change, a denial of climate change, misogyny.
By the way, you fucking stupid bitch, there is a difference between deny and first of all, you're the faggots that changed the term to climate change because the temperature started dropping again, and then you realize, oh my God, there's solar maximums and solar minimums, and they happen every 400 years, and there's also volcanic hotspots, and there's all kinds of factors, right? So then you went, fuck, we cannot call it global warming anymore. That pigeonholes us. It cages us into this corner. So we got to call it climate change. So no matter what the climate's doing, we can fucking tax the shit out of people. Nobody's denying that the climate doesn't shift a little bit. I bet this bitch doesn't even know what a solar minimum is. I bet you don't even know. But they want to manufacture these issues, right? Trump never said, you know what? The earth never changes. It's always the same. Every orange crop in Florida every year is exactly the same. The climate doesn't change ever. He never said that. What we were saying was, they turned climate change into a globalist economic weapon, and Trump just went, no, I'm not doing it. Why am I paying this? And China doesn't have to pay it. And he's right. It's like, so you're going to get us, you're going to hamstring our economy with these carbon taxes and shit because of climate change. But what about India? What about China? What about South America? They're not doing any of that shit, so it doesn't matter if we pay all this money. You fucking dumb bitch. Tell me what a solar maximum is. Tell me.
I watched Inconvenient Truth, Mike, and I'll let you know. Florida has now technically been underwater for 5 years.
Oh, my God, we should do something.
Remember, Inconvenient Truth said by 2013, Florida would be underwater?
We need to get out of this water.
Yeah.
Racism, xenophobia, all of these things are evident in Trump's policies, and this is our...
And that's your answer.
Name his policies.
No. I think this is great because she just segued into all these evil fascist things that Trump is becoming Emperor Palpatine of planet Earth, and she segued into, and this is our way of combating that. You deserve camps.
By the way, the Palpatine thing, I saw a really good article that said the rebels were the bad guys.
They were.
They had no sustainable government plan. They were terrorists. They were killing people. Say what you want about Palpatine, but technically he did it legally.
Yeah,
he did it legally.
But we've been saying that about the left for forever now. You guys have a whole plan on how to tear shit down. You have no plan for after that. Step 1, tear down the system. Step 2, question mark. Step 3, profit. I don't know how you guys like at least other right-wingers go, we need closed borders, we need this. We need to make sure that our private markets are infringible. These people are like, we need to bash Trump, mate.
Yeah.
And then what? What happens once you get Trump wiped off the planet, then what?
Once you burn everything down, you're not going to have trannies in work boots and hard hats building it back up.
No.
Do you understand?
You're going to have Mike Pence.
Yeah. The people that you are shitting on, these Trumpers, these fucking hillbillies, these fucking idiots, are the people that build the goddamn country, are the people that fucking come home every day with their hands dirty and their face dirty so they can fucking provide. They're the ones that went to those trade schools and didn't get a fucking feminist degree at Berkeley. You fucking idiots.
They're also the ones that are dressed in police uniforms that you were shouting the N-word at the other day.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, you're really winning hearts and minds, huh? You know, it's like we just want to fight xenophobia and racism, and we want all migrants and everyone to live together and love. You fucking N-word for the white man!
Now, xenophobia, that's when you're afraid of Xena Warrior Princess, right?
Yeah.
You don't like Lucy Lawless scares you?
Yeah. And then
Okay.
you'd rather bang the sidekick.
Then I'm xenophobic, because the
So am
sidekick
I.
was hotter. I
Yeah,
agree.
she definitely
Blondie?
was. She could get it.
Opportunity to protest against them.
But Sheila, I mean, I've been asking this question of Assad Rayman and others as well.
Why don't you go back to your country?
I don't like the fact that all these fucking guys now, all these journalists out when they go to these protests, they wear that North Face vest or what is the vest? You know the vest I'm talking about? It's the one that's in every like white man catalog. It's annoying.
It is right that Mr. Trump should be able to come to this country, not for a state visit, but for working visits. In many ways, the U.S. is still a very close U.S. ally. You're not disputing the fact that Mr. Trump, as the
President.
leader of the Democratic...
Dude,
He keeps saying Mr.
What the fuck is with that?
No, because in the U.S., when they talk about, they go Prime Minister Trudeau, Prime Minister May, they don't say Mrs. May or Mr. Trudeau. It's a thing of respect, no matter who by the way...
At the very least, you just say their last name.
Yeah. Exactly, because whenever don't be like, oh, it's UK, because I've seen they call them President Obama.
Motherfuckers, I guarantee you. Oh, I hope somebody leaks a memo one day, because I guarantee you they are conditioned to say things.
Oh, yeah.
They have entire meetings, and I bet you there are no memos.
There's
'cause
no
they're
memos.
smarter than that.
It's word of mouth.
They go in the room and they go, guys, it's Mr. Trump. It's not president. We gotta control the narrative here.
democratically elected government in the United States should be allowed to come to the United Kingdom.
What I am saying is that people have the right to protest about his arrival.
As long as you're not protesting against unwanted migration, you're not allowed to protest that or Tommy Robinson being arrested or be anti-pedophile. But as long as you're protesting Trump...
By the way,
freedom
I'll
of
agree.
speech.
You're talking. We think you have the right to protest. That's what fucking America was built on, and you guys should also have those rights. The problem is that, like Mike's saying, you cherry pick them. England cherry picks them. Shouldn't you have the right to fucking Brexit? But they cherry pick what they want to enforce and what they want to do. This technically everything they're doing falls under the same hate speech thing. It does, because. It's the same thing. You're going after somebody for their beliefs. That's different, and you're inciting anger. It's the same thing, but they're allowed because it's Trump. I wonder if you fucking if the mayor of London, Mayor 9/11, whatever his fucking name is,
Sadiq Khan.
There you go, a bad guy from fucking Star Trek.
Yeah, Raphael Sadiq.
Yeah.
He sang that song.
Yeah, it was-
Just Me and You. It was in the 90s.
Yeah. I thought it was Christopher Cross. No, if they had him dressed up like a pig and they flew that, you think that would get approved? You think that would fly over London, England? I fucking doubt it.
I want to see them make the Muslim mayor a pig. Oh, I would love that.
And that is what we're doing. So I don't think that this is a controversial act. I think that we are exercising
You
our
know
right.
it's a controversial act. You know you wanted attention.
That's the point of
You
this.
fucking... I don't like curry puss at all.
No.
I can't stand this bitch.
No.
To protest. I don't think there's any controversy.
Nobody
over
has
whether
ever fucked this woman and enjoyed themselves.
No, you're right. That's a good point.
Sadiq Khan should have allowed us to do this. It's safe. It's not harming anybody. We're exercising our right to protest just like everybody else. Who'll
So
be here
does
today to
shit
protest.
posting on the internet.
No, that's not allowed, though, because they'll come and get you. They're watching you.
So this is less harmful.
You know how many people have VPNs over there?
You know, technically that balloon could pop and then land on people and suffocate them. In theory.
It's true.
In theory,
It's
while
dangerous.
executing your right to free speech, shit posting on the internet is technically safer.
Yeah, it's a very good point.
So don't lie to me, lady. I can
Just
play your
every-
fucking mental gymnastic games too if you want.
Creative, like a creative protest, and so many people are behind
And
it.
it's well
She's a dumb woman.
You're a very dumb woman.
She's not a smart woman.
Well, she's, you know,
A woman.
well, and,
Problem one.
you know.
The other thing.
Yeah, she's a pageant.
tethered, is it? I don't want this flying up and getting him near Marine One a little bit later on, is
Now,
it?
I am wondering, during construction of this balloon, you've done some great work here. Will you send bulbs in the jeans?
Definitely well tethered, and I think it's probably important
Look, they're
to say that
inflating
this
it right
isn't
now.
just about Trump. This is our opportunity
Wow, look at that. That is
35,000
impressive, huh?
Great Britain pounds.
to hold the UK government to account in the policies that we are seeing in our own government, in our own country.
What policies? All the policies in your country are going your way, lady.
Yeah, and your fucking country's burning to
Yeah,
the
no,
ground.
but they're acting like there's some you guys are bringing in migrants by the fucking boatload. You guys are not banning knives. You're banning anything subversive. You're having people arrested for fucking words they say. What isn't going your way? You know, I understand liberals now in the U.S. getting pissed because, let's face it, they had it for 8 years really well. Honestly, I would go even further. For 16, even under Bush, liberals had it pretty fucking well.
You had it beautiful.
And now you fucking don't have it well, so now, of course, things aren't going your way. But what are you protesting? What has he done to England? Like, what has he done to you?
Policies that are, contributing to the Brexit that we're now having to deal with, the Brexit mess that we're having to deal with, contribution to racism and contribution to xenophobia and the rise of far right, which is what Trump's policies are doing.
All right, well, that's your point of view. Thank you very much indeed for that, Sheila. Real pleasure to meet you. Thank you very much. As you say, it's fully inflated, 9:30 a.m. local time here in London, and officially has to be down by 11:30. Is that right?
That is the plan. So we've got actually an hour before he's allowed to go up.
Yeah. You're going to push the limits here, aren't you? Looks like he's going up early.
Well, I mean, maybe we'll just have to keep him lower and then put him
Okay.
up a little bit.
Sheila, real pleasure meeting you. Thank you very
not
much
a
indeed for
smart
your time. As you can see, the Metropolitan Police, the fine men from the Metropolitan Police here as
Helping with the balloon.
Well, yeah, because they got a break from blowing a whistle and painting rainbows on people's faces.
Are there any faggier-dressed cops on the planet?
No,
The
no,
British
they're
with
the
little-
gayest.
with the little neon
The hat, though.
windbreakers
The
and
hat's
the
what does
bobby
it, yeah.
hats and no guns. You ever watch videos of them getting fucking overpowered?
Oh,
It's
yeah, the
hilarious
Robinson
all
thing.
the
Yeah.
time. Like 4 of them trying to take on one Somalian, and he's just throwing them around like fucking
Yeah.
Thanos. And you're like, what are you doing? This is hilarious.
well, just making sure.
At least in
that
America,
the-
they just show up in a group of 12 and go, and they're just on the ground. That's it. Now drag them back to either a cell or the morgue.
Now, while they were there, this is what Trump was doing.
Smug as all hell. I
This
love
is
this
his
man.
joint press conference with Prime Minister May.
That Brexit is a very tough situation. That's a tough deal. I didn't criticize the Prime Minister. I have a lot of respect for the Prime Minister. And unfortunately, there was a story that was done, which was, generally fine, but it didn't put in what I said about the Prime Minister. And I said tremendous things. I said to that paper, The Sun, and they seem like two very nice people, but I said that Theresa May is one of them's nice, but I said, she said,
sitting here.
oh, good. Where is that person? Where did I say nice things about Theresa May, please? I said very good things. Thank you very much for saying that. No, I said very good things about her, and she's a total professional, because when I saw her this morning, I said, I want to apologize because I said such good things about you. She said, don't worry, it's only the press. As far as the advice...
She was probably like, dude, shut up.
Fuck
What's
up,
wrong
bro.
with you, dude?
Quiet.
I did give her a suggestion. I wouldn't say advice.
Suggestion isn't advice, Trump, which is fine, but it is.
And I think she found it maybe too brutal. And that's okay, because I could see that. But I don't know if you remember what I said. But I did give her a certain amount of, I gave her suggestion, not advice. I could fully understand why she thought it was a little bit tough. And maybe someday she'll do that. If they don't make the right deal, she might very well do what I suggested that she might want to do.
What an alpha male this man is. Woo! Alpha male.
This is one of the things that I've always liked about Trump. Is that like a good boss at work? You know what I mean? They'll come and they will tell you what to do, and they will be very pushy about it, but they're usually very nice.
Yeah.
Trump's the king of like the bosses that go, "Look, everybody's doing great work, absolutely excellent, but as always, we could always be doing better, right? So I made some suggestions, and the suggestions aren't suggestions.
No.
But whatever you do is okay with me. That's your decision. Whatever you're going to do is okay with us. Just make sure we can trade together. That's all that matters.
That was great. Whatever you do is okay with me, unless it affects our trade deal.
Oh, also, it's probably a bad time to announce that we won't be treating with any EU countries anymore. So shit or get off the pot there.
TikTok.
Shit or get off the pot, Terry. That's all I'm going to say.
Here's another suggestion.
So I would say I give our relationship, in terms of grade, the highest level of special. So we start off with special. I would give our relationship with the UK, and now, especially after this 2 days, with your Prime Minister, I would say the highest level of special. Now, am I allowed to go higher than that? I'm not sure. But it's the highest level of special. They're very special people. It's a very special country. And as I said, I have a relationship because my mother was born in Scotland.
So while they're flying the baby balloon out there, he's there getting business done. By the way, you told me yesterday that he walked up to Merkel. Oh, we already talked about it.
Yeah, we
That's
said
right.
that on
Sorry,
there.
I
The
always
first
forget.
thing he ever said to Merkel when he met her was, "You owe me $1 trillion."
That is fucking
Not, hey,
Beautiful.
Germany or the United States, you owe me $1 trillion. I love that he goes places and speaks as America.
Yep.
It just cuts through the time. Well, certain formal. Hey, look, you owe me $1 trillion. How you my split days, payment plan? How do you want to do it?
Now let's move back across the pond, back over to the U.S.
Thank
yeah.
God. Sick of that cucked country.
Oh, no, because you're not going to like this. Well, you might like it. Democrats who drafted a bill to abolish ICE now say they're going to vote against it. I'm going to read the story, but let me give you the quick cliff notes. The Republicans called their bluff.
This is proof that they're just manipulating your dumb emotions. They
The-
don't mean it.
Republicans called their bluff. They go, okay, let's put it in for a vote. That's what they did. Democrats who drafted a bill abolishing immigration and ICE suddenly announced Tuesday night that they would vote against it if the legislation went to the floor after House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy told Fox News he intended to call their bluff. Did you read something? What happened?
Just another 30-day ban
You? For what?
for picking on that Desmond kid doing
Who?
a live stream. Desmond is amazing. The 8-year-old
Oh, okay,
drag
yeah,
kid,
yeah.
drag queen kid. Yeah, they were doing a live stream the other night.
I saw that, and he read something that says Hitler was right, which is one of the lines. I read that.
Oh, I stole that video, by the way. I've
Yeah.
got that saved.
But why would you wear band? You didn't even say anything.
I did say some things.
Oh, in the comments.
In the comments, yes.
At least you get 30 days. At least you're not permanently deleted.
I got suspended for and I made a lot of mean comments on that thread, but the one that got me was when he said, "You guys are just jealous." And I said, "Yes, we're just jealous of higher suicide rates and rates of STD infection."
You're not allowed to use facts.
Facts don't care about your feelings, okay?
Okay. All right.
All right, facts don't care about your feelings, and you're never going to get touched by sister's boobs.
Here's my friend Kyle Kashev.
So back to Ken Fresno, I guess. You guys.
All right, Kenny boy, back to Ken. We know Speaker Paul Ryan is not serious about passing our establishing a humane immigration enforcement system act. So members of Congress, adversary groups, and impacted communities will not engage in this political stunt. So they put the bill out, they called their bluff, and now they're going to vote against it.
This is what. But the Democrats always do this.
Yep.
They've been doing this since the 90s.
If Speaker Ryan puts our bill on the floor, we plan to vote no and will instead use the opportunity to force an urgently needed, long overdue conversation on the House floor.
So no, you don't want to get anything.
But it was your bill. Oh, so the bill was a stunt. So basically, let's break down the political speech in the layman terms.
Wasting our time and resources on your stunts.
A political stunt that you got called out for, and he said, all right, cool. Because you know why? You know why that would happen? Paul Ryan will go, whether you like him or not. Republicans will go, here you go. Here's the bill. Then every single person that voted against ICE, especially if you're a red state Democrat, a Democrat in a red state, you're fucked. You would be fucked because this is all political posturing. They don't give a fuck. No one's going to abolish ICE. That's not going to happen.
No, look, they've done this with immigration before. They did it with the DACA stuff. They're always going like, give us this. And Trump will be like, all right, here. And then they're like, well, no, it's not good enough.
Bill de Blasio, he tweeted, mayor of New York City, every country needs reasonable law enforcement on their borders. ICE is not reasonable law enforcement. ICE is broken and it's divisive and it should be abolished. That's what the mayor of New York City said.
Okay, cool. Let's abolish it then. Here's your bill.
No, I was kidding.
But you just said to abolish. Just spent a couple days writing this bill.
Maybe he's mad because Border Patrol claims de Blasio legally crossed the border.
Oh, boy.
More trouble at the southern border, according to a letter obtained by Fox News. U.S. Customs and Border Protection is claiming New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio and Austin Mayor Stephen Adler illegally crossed the border between
the drummer
Mexico.
from Guns N' Roses?
No, it's a different guy. Well, it might be the same guy, actually.
Illegally crossed the border between Mexico and the U.S. William Lajeunesse is live in Los Angeles with more on this. William?
Well, Senator, not just entering illegally over a dry riverbed, but also disobeying a direct order from a Border Patrol agent to stay put while he called his supervisors. Mayors de Blasio and Adler, however, both say they did nothing wrong and
They did. They did something wrong. You crossed illegally without your passport, and a border agent told you not to do it. So you're breaking the law. This arrogance, the fucking arrogance. Something else, look, and I've always said it, and no offense to you're from New York, Mike, but the arrogance of New Yorkers is always astonishing to me.
Pretty bad.
It is something that listen, trust me, we beat up on LA. And
Better
we
watch it, pal. You mess with one of us. You mess with all of us.
I'm walking here.
Throwing sticks at you.
So, we shit on LA all the time, and they deserve it. But I've always said it, and I'm sorry for New York City. I apologize. But the arrogance of New Yorkers knows no bounds. It's what Louis C.K. It's the only place with fucking smug blue-collar workers. Like, you know what I mean?
Good point, though.
Yeah. It's the only place where blue-collar people are smug.
Yeah, no.
It's like... They are so arrogant. I've been there many times do radio stuff and stuff like that. Everybody there is arrogant, and you motherfuckers, basically, majority of you, ride around in a homeless toilet underground, and you have the fucking balls to call, and they get mad at tourists all the time, and they scream at people, and they're always in a hurry because I'm a New Yorker, New York City, the Big Apple. The fucking city smells like garbage. It's fucking disgusting. You can't live there unless you're like fucking Roger from American Dad. New York seems like a place you go with either really rich or really poor.
Yeah, it was great when Giuliani was around. When he was around cracking fucking heads and
long time
cleaning
ago.
up the streets. You know, by the way, we learned last night, do you know who Rudolph Giuliani prosecuted when he was a federal prosecutor?
Who?
The international Jew Michael Milken for his hedge fund crimes in the 80s. Yep.
Elmo was right.
Yup.
Elmo was right.
Yeah, based Elmo is...
But the fucking arrogance of these I'm going to walk, I'm going to do what I want. Mike, if you and I...
They helped Spider-Man, dude,
if you,
when he was fighting the Goblin. Just saying.
Not Jim Norton.
He was... The peak of his career happened right at the beginning of his career.
Yeah, you're right. That's a good point. So... if you and I were to go to the border and have done what he did, we would have been arrested immediately.
Yeah, no, this was a fucking peacocking, fucking chest pumping out stunt.
Yeah.
You should have been arrested.
Mayors de Blasio and Adler, however, both say they did nothing wrong and deny they were detained. This happened just after the mayors tried to enter an immigrant detention camp in Tornillo, Texas. They were denied access. according to the Border Patrol. The mayors then tried to get around security by going into Mexico, then entering the U.S. illegally to photograph the facility. However, a border agent stopped them and ordered the group to, quote, remain in place while he called the supervisor to arrange transport to the port of entry as required by law. Disregarding the agent's order, the group then departed and illegally crossed back into Mexico. This is according to a Border Patrol letter that say the mayors violated 2 U.S. laws and could have been jailed for up to a year.
Arrest them.
But arrest them. No. Don't say this. Arrest them.
Arrest them.
Put them in jail. And then when he becomes a felon, he can't be a mayor anymore.
And it's not like they'd make a felony stick. But you know what? Let him plead it down to a misdemeanor. Fuck his shit all up. Make sure his Wikipedia page has that forever on it.
Fuck them, man.
De Blasio's office disputes this, saying the mayor crossed the border under the direct supervision and approval of the chief of the Tornillo Port of Entry. Any suggestion he was at any point detained or not authorized is a complete joke.
No, you know what's a complete joke? Bill de Blasio.
Yeah.
Is a complete fucking joke.
The one that every time he talks, half of the NYC police force turns their back on him.
Your police hate you. Your firefighters hate you.
Mm-hmm.
Your EMTs hate you. Your citizens hate you. The only people that don't hate you are the illegals.
That is news to the Border Patrol, who say the mayors did not have permission, nor were they under anyone's supervision. The Austin mayor has a similar story, saying the mayor and a council member were neither apprehended nor detained. They observed a Border Patrol agent briefly speak with a U.S. law enforcement officer, and then the agent left.
To call his boss and told him to stay put.
Scumbags!
That officer was de Blasio's security guard from the NYPD. The Border Patrol wants that officer investigated for failing to comply. Agents tell me the group could have been or should have been detained and even processed and fingerprinted, but they departed before that could happen.
Hello.
Fucking a joke, that man. All these people, and again, it's back to they're all fucking hypocrites. They don't want anything to happen.
They're all communists.
Everything, yeah, no, you're right. Everything is a fucking political stunt. Apparently, we got a super chat here that says, "Did y'all see Christopher Langan's banned Facebook post?"
What?
Well, Christopher Langan, apparently, figuring out who this is some sort of intellectual person, apparently, and he's the world's smartest man. Had his Facebook suspended. He must.
Oh, yeah, because he was going off about fucking, But to be fair, look, I get it. Guys. But if you want to fucking write your little Facebook rants about fucking Africans being sub-IQ, fucking, subhuman monkeys, then guess what? You're probably going to get fucking taken off Facebook for a few days. Like, I get it, guys. Like, because we get a lot of this shit sometimes from the right. Can you believe this guy got censored? Yeah. Next topic. Sorry, but this is the world we live in, and I'm getting sick of going in a fucking circle every week. Did you hear this one got suspended? Yeah. If you say that Saharan Africans are sub-IQ monkey people, you're gonna probably lose your fucking account for a little bit, guy. I get that he's the smartest man in the world. He's so smart. If he was that fucking smart, he'd still have his goddamn Facebook.
At least he knows why his Facebook's gone. I still am waiting to hear back.
Like, did he write that? Did he red pill anybody with that?
Want me to read it?
So, yeah, I'm sorry. Some of you guys may not even know.
Yeah, let me read it so we know what he said. Christopher Langan, this is what he wrote. Coco, the thoughtful gorilla who captivated the world with her ability to use sign language and revealed an empathetic side to great apes, has died. She was 46. The Western Iowa land gorilla passed away in her sleep Tuesday morning at the Gorilla Foundation's preserve in California's Santa Cruz Mountains. Coco touched the lives of millions as an ambassador for gorillas and an icon of interspecies communications and empathy. The foundation said on its website she was beloved with deep and will be deeply missed. Coco was believed to have an IQ of between 75 and 95 and could sign more than 1,000 words. The average IQ of a human is around 90 to 110. She also understood spoken English. According to the 30-point rule, psychometrics as proposed by the pioneering psychometric Lita S. Hollingsworth, Coco's elevated level of thought would have been but incomprehensible to nearly half the population of Somalia, average IQ of 68. Yet the nations of Europe and North America have been flooded with millions of unvetted Somali refugees who are not initially kept in cages despite what appears to be the world's highest rate of violent crime. Obviously, This raises questions why the Western civilization not admitting gorillas. They too are from Africa and probably have a group mean IQ at least equivalent to Somalia. In addition, they have peaceful and environmentally friendly cultures, commit far less violent crimes than Somalians, and with minor modifications to Western education system can be easily integrated.
Okay. Now, I'm just going to, again.
You know, he was fine up until the last paragraph.
Get ready, guys. Put your earbuds out and just put it on speakers because I'm going to do some yelling because I'm going to continue my rant. There's a couple people in the chat right now. Well, you know what? Race realism's going to save it there. First of all, every white person I hear talking about race realism and our Mahara Q. You know, most of all, you all fucking idiots, you mongrels have about 105 IQ. I'm smarter than a lot of the race realist whites that I hear talking all the time.
You fucking civilian.
You know, we're so much smarter than those black N-word monkey people. Yeah, okay. You're not going to get to keep your fucking Facebook if you write shit like that. Mr. Smart Guy, start your own website. Do what you got to do. There are certain inherent truths. Yes, certain people are culturally behind. Some people do have lower IQs. There are differences culturally. But if you want to go on black people monkey rants, you're going to get fucking throttled. That's the reality of it. And if you guys want to be tribalists and be identitarians and be around your own people, God bless you. But when you puff your chest out and walk around like, you see how much smarter than we are than these African N-words, you're not doing any service to anyone on this planet. You're not. You're a bunch of fucking losers who happen to luckily slide out of a white vagina on this hemisphere. And now you walk around in your fucking southern Ohio, northern Kentucky towns and go, look at how much better than the blacks we are. 4 fucking generations in southern Ohio? I fucking doubt it.
Man, you're really mad.
No, because I'm like, again, like, I don't mind if this man wants to express himself, and I don't mind if you're a race realist, and I don't mind all this shit. But when you fucking retards start circling the wagons and going, we need to stand up for this guy's right to speech. Really? Because he just did a whole paragraph about how we should let gorillas live here instead of humans from Somalia, because humans from Somalia are essentially uncivilized N-words. That's essentially was the crux of his argument. So, gee, did you think the super liberal commie Zuckerberg social media company might tell you to take 30 days off?
This just in, he was retweeted by Papa John's.
Better ingredients, better neighborhoods, Papa John's.
Yeah, Domino's is fixing potholes. Papa John's going around fixing neighborhoods.
And they're both doing good for the community, right?
Look, I hear what you're saying, and you're right. I think that there's 2 things that we have to understand. The same reason we evolved from listening to some of the Fifth Circle shows that we did, we would never be able to do that now. We're being honest. I think that to be able to communicate, you have to do it in a way where you could get your point across and be smart. You can't go straight into that stuff because you have to know. This is the way I look at it. You could win a fight by fucking headbutting somebody and kicking them in the balls. You could win a fight that way. However, when you're in the fucking octagon, there's rules that you have to follow. You know what I mean? So even though, yeah, you might be able to, you have to know if you want to compete with the liberals, and look, we'll be the first one to say it. Liberals get more leeways. Leftists get away with way more things in social media. That is all things that are true. However, you have to be smarter than that if you're going to, you have to play by their rules in a certain way to get through it. That's why in this show we get mad when we get banned, because we try to play by the rules and the rules change. Yeah. But you're right. Look, you read that last thing, it's 2018. You fucking say it that way.
And again, you're so high IQ. But I'll be honest, with a lot of you alt-right, ethno-state folks, your social IQs are garbage. You have no idea how to communicate points. And by the way, all this ethno-state JQ shit, like the people that talk about it, it's all they fucking talk about. Like, look at JF. Listen to that unlistenable every night. The ethno-state and the blacks are the worst, and I want to create a phenotype with the white people and every night for 4 hours. Jesus Christ. It's like, Talk about something else. That's my problem with you fucking ethno-state purity spiraling assholes is fucking broaden your horizons. Take on other things. Learn violin, nigga. Something.
It's just been retweeted by Anthony Cumia.
Because you're so boring. You're so boring. And even if you're right, then make somebody care. That's not how you do it.
One more thing before we go to
Bunch of
break.
keyboard warriors. All these people live in the Midwest and in like the fucking fourth generation of the same family in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. None of you faggots ever had the thought, maybe I could leave this town and do something. No, you just stay on your online and you talk about how the blacks are ruining everything. You're just like these fucking Africans you hate so much. 4 generations you haven't even thought to leave your hometown. But you know, the white man is so imaginative. We're always reaching for the stars. Not you. Most of you are not. Anyone who is legitimately reaching for the stars as either an individual or a family member or a tribe doesn't have time to sit around for 5 hours a day talking about how monkeys are better than Somalians. They don't have time for that.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
I hate this bitch.
Oh, but you're going to like the story. Her Democratic primary opponent will remain on the ballot because of some bullshit. It's from Jezebel. That's why it says that. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, a 28-year-old Democratic congressional primary winner who simultaneously rose feelings of inspiration and deep inadequacy within my young icy heart, will not be the sole Democrat on the November ballot in her district.
Okay, look. I hate this bitch, but if there's one thing I hate more in the world, it's the DNC machinations. Because now, like, I don't even like this bitch, but now you're going to fuck this bitch too.
Instead of a 20-year-old incumbent, Joseph Crowley, whom she beat in an exciting,
Mr.
improbable primary race, will stay on the ballot, creating a situation that could split the Democrat vote. A Republican could win this now. You know that, right?
What did I say?
A Republican could win this now. You
Well,
know
I
that,
said,
right?
dog, you didn't believe me. You didn't believe me. I said this bitch might blow it for them.
Because if they split the
They split
Democrat
the vote, they're
if
fucked.
they split the vote, they're fucked. If you're wondering why in the fuck this is happening, come on, Jezebel, fucking Christ. Really? This is the way you write a story?
Yeah, no, Jezebel's always been
By the way, something else I realized, you know Jezebel was owned, Gawker doesn't exist anymore, but by Gawker, right? The people that the people that own Gawker own Jezebel.
Owned Gawker.
Jezebel, the AV Club, Deadspin, Gizmodo, Katuka, Lifehacker, Splinter, Takeout, The Onion, Clickhole, and The Root.
Well, I know. That's why that's why Gamergate exploded the way it did. Because everybody's like, you fuckers, man, you're all in bed with each other. This is literally and figuratively.
But that's what happened. Sites like Gizmodo and Katuka and all that stuff used to just be about, tech stuff and like that. And the moment Gawker, Hulk Hogan leg dropped Gawker, all those writers went
Spread out,
to
yeah,
these.
went to
And
these
so
other
so
spots.
all these sites that used to be not political became very political.
But my only problem, like with Jezebel, it's like you can write an article that's great and cutting and do it without cursing so much. Like, I've cursed in my articles. I think I've written maybe 1 or 2 opinion pieces that might have a curse or 2 in it, peppered in there, but it's not like fucking cunts. Like, it's, you know what I mean? Like, it's like I wrote about a pedophile, the Netflix thing, and I think I said something about wanting to knock the fucking director's teeth out with a croquet mallet. Okay, fine. That's an opinion piece. But when you write an article, you're like, I always go make sure that my articles sound like I'm an adult man.
Right.
That at least when you're reading it, you go, information. Thank you.
If you're wondering why the fuck this is happening, you can thank New York's election laws and the stubbornness of bad men. As the New York Times explains, Crowley received the endorsement of a Working Families Party, a group of labor unions and activists that have also backed New York Governor Andrew Cuomo's primary challenger, Cynthia Nixon. But after Ocasio-Cortez's primary win, Bill Lipton, the state director of the Working Families Party, reached out to Crowley's team and asked them that they vacate the line. Crowley, however, declined. This means he'll remain on the ballot, which is certainly a curious decision to make.
So now you're fighting a war, but you're also having a mutiny problem. So it's like trying to imagine if you're in a castle, right? And that castle is under siege. You are getting fucking bombarded into the fucking shadow realm, and you guys are going to lose, right? Now, you already know you're losing this battle. You're surrounded. They're about to storm your castle. Now imagine 1/3 of your soldiers decided, no, Alexandria Ocasio now. Now's not the time for mutiny. We need to focus on the shit coming in. You guys are so doomed because you think that this is the end. She's going to spurt with this and the walk away movement. And you think there aren't going to be a bunch of young upstarts all across the country going, I want to run for town alderman. You guys have your entire party is on fire. And Trump's just walking around going, I try to give them suggestions. Take them, whatever you want. I'm just going to jet setting around, just dropping world peace bombs everywhere.
You think that given the moment we're in, Lipton said the Democratic leaders would want to help progressive forces unite. You would think that, except recent history very clearly tells us otherwise. More than that, the Times about how vacating the line works, the Working Families Party must go through a convoluted legal maneuver, essentially nominating the unwanted primary winner for another electoral position on the ballot, often one that he or she has little chance of winning, like a county clerkship in a region of the state dominated by the other party. It's very quirky, said J.F. Goldfelder, an election lawyer, an adjunct professor at Fordham University. It demonstrates how the various minor parties sometimes have indoctrinated control over the way the ballot looks and causes confusion in the electorate.
Wait, I'm sorry. Did a Jewish fucking legal expert and a university professor just tell me how elections are rigged? Oh, how dare you. How dare you?
This is the bizarre mechanism we have to go through in order to change our endorsement. Mr. Lipton, the primary is over and the world has changed. So here are the situations and blah, 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 blah. So then you have her tweeting, Representative Joe Crowley stated on live TV would absolutely support my candidacy. Instead, he stood me up for 3 scheduled concession calls. Now he's mounting a third-party challenge against me and the Democratic Party against the will of the people. Hey!
I hope some nondescript, boring, cookie-cutter Republican just takes this spot.
Joe Crowley tweeted back, Alexandria, the race is over and the Democrats need to come together. I've made my support for you very clear. And the fact that I'm not running, we've scheduled phone calls and your team has not followed through. I'd like to connect you, but I'm not willing to air grievances on Twitter, is what he told her. Let me tell you, and you said this before, she is, because, look, I'll tell you this. I promise you something, guys. Crowley will be off the ballot before it'll happen. He's going to be off, I guarantee you, because somebody in the party's higher up is going to get in his ear and go, "Look,
he's going to get a check."
Yeah, and hey, get out of here.
And a gig
here you go. Here's for your whatever foundation that you're doing. Go fuck yourself.
That you keep all the money from.
We have a super chat, Mike, from range 3341. Even if the whites were the dumbest, we still deserve our homelands. You're completely missing the point. I'm giving you money so you can wake up. Well, thanks for the money, but we're not changing our mind.
I appreciate it, but I'm not gonna start advocating annihilating black and brown people because you gave us $5. Thanks, bud.
I'm Cuban, by the way.
Yeah, and for the record, I don't. You got if that was your comment to me, sir, then you completely missed the fucking point of what I was saying, and you just proved my point that you're probably a low IQ motherfucker. So thanks for the money, you retard. Next time, listen to my entire point, which is what I said in the beginning. I am perfectly okay with people who want to be tribal, who want to identify with their own kind, all that shit. I'm talking about you idiots that go around talking about mudbloods and you fucking have never stopped taking opiates and living in the mountains of Kentucky. Go fuck yourself. Yeah, you're allowed to do that. You're missing my entire point, which is you idiots then go, can you believe my buddy got kicked off Facebook the other day for saying 1488 Hail Hitler, kill all the N-words? Can you believe that shit? Yeah, I fucking believe it, you spurg.
Speaking of hill people, we have to go to break.
I hate these people on the alt-right. I hate you with a passion. Stop listening. I don't like you. I don't like your tweets. I don't like your threats. I don't like your dumb little DMs. You're a race traitor, motherfucker. I've done more for whites than you have from behind your fucking keyboard.
Speaking of hill people, we have Mitch Heil coming up next in the second hour, talking about Gray State. We do have to go to break. If you want to help us, if you like what we're doing, and even if you hate us, you could still help us, as you could see. RevengeOfTheSith.com/donate. That's how you help us out. Become a patron, patreon.com/we're not sorry.
Damien Scott in the chat. He's banged so many Jews, so you don't have to.
It's true.
See, Damien Scott gets it. By the way, I did take your suggestion, Damien Scott. LG G6 up in this bitch.
We're going to have Mitch Heil next year coming up, so stay with us. Anything else you want to plug?
No,
we're going to break.
We'll
be right back in 5 minutes and with our interview. See you guys.
And he's got to make room for the 86 models that are arriving sooner than expected. So right now you can get the deal of the year, or maybe any other year, on sporty Cordia hatchbacks, roomy Tradia sedans, hot Starion turbo sports cars, and tough Mighty Max trucks.
In a world where our very way of life seems to be under attack from all sides, and our freedoms are slowly being ripped away, Guns for Tards is fighting the good fight to help protect America from its enemies by advocating Second Amendment rights for our nation's most vulnerable and often overlooked citizens, the mentally challenged. Our founding fathers believed that a well-armed, trained, and educated citizenry was the key to a free and prosperous society. But Meatloaf also said, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. We believe that Tards are our second-to-last line of defense against ISIS, and we at Guns for Tards aim to provide the means and the programs to give proper training and resources to Tards in your area, helping to make the country a safer place. There are over 40 million mentally challenged Americans living today, and by 2020, we plan to arm at least 10% of them. We want to get as many guns in the hands of as many Tards as we can, but we won't be able to do it without your help. So please, pledge your help today. Arm a Tard. It's not that hard. Go to www.gunsfortards.com for more information, or follow us on Facebook or Twitter by searching for Guns for Tards.
Gunsfortards.com. Gunsfortards.com. Extra rounds for folks with downs, helping to protect your town. Gunsfortards.com.
Lucky announces longer store hours. They're getting up earlier and staying up later.
Orlando, Florida, a city known for its theme parks and resorts. But peace is threatened as a wave of crime has turned this once beautiful vacation destination into a haven for gangs, thugs, and terrorists.
I need backup! Halt nightclub! Shots fired! Shots fired!
When an LGBT hotspot is shot up and dozens are killed, 2 detectives may be this city's only hope to unravel a conspiracy of corruption that goes all the way to the nation's most powerful elite.
This is Grizzly.
Hey, Lopez. Look, it's called Pulse Nightclub. Hey, I bet
Don't. Seriously, dude, just don't. Not now.
When the city finds itself gripped with fear and under attack, Mersch and Lopez keep a cool head as they attempt to unravel the mystery.
I believe these men were targeted simply because they were homosexual. This is a hate crime.
Gross.
It is gross, partner. Targeting people out of hate like that?
No, I meant the gay stuff. It's pretty gross.
These 2 no-nonsense cops are about to find themselves dragged into a world of political intrigue and international terrorism, and they may be the only hope to save the world.
I got a morgue full of dead bodies with neon mesh tank tops, a dead suspect, and no motive. The mayor is on my ass.
There's more to this case than we're seeing, LT. I think it's terrorism.
I agree with Lopez, Chief. It's definitely terrorism. We're dealing with a bigger fish here.
As they uncover clues with their incomparable police cop work, Mersch and Lopez get closer to the real masterminds.
Seems like Mateen's phone had some kind of encryption software. It bricked itself.
Damn. So we're screwed, huh?
Well, I managed to get one file off the phone. GPS coordinates that lead to Washington, D.C.
Comet Ping Pong Pizza. Never heard of it.
Feel like grabbing a slice, partner?
Yeah, a slice
Of justice, of justice. Yeah, I know. You say it every time.
Yeah, it's kind of my thing.
Yeah, cool. Can leaving now be our thing? Because it's a long drive to D.C.
Coming up next week, Orlando's best detectives are still trying to get to the truth behind the deadliest attack in their city's history. Mersh and Lopez follow a lead that takes them all the way to the nation's capital. But will their case be derailed as they discover a child sex trafficking ring inside of a pizza place? Find out next week on an all-new Revenge of the Sis. Mondays at 4, followed by an all-new Nazi lawyer. Only on USA Network. USA, what are you gonna do? Watch TBS?
You! Wouldn't you like to know the story of you? What makes you, you? DNA and Me is a genetic service that can help you find out exactly who your ancestors were. You might be surprised.
I thought I was just a standard white guy, but DNA and Me showed that I'm actually 4.2% Cherokee Indian.
Turns out I'm not totally white. I'm also part Northern Asian and even some Kurdish. I'm a victim of oppression.
I used to get in trouble for always using the N-word, but with DNA and Me, I found out that I'm 2.1% black.
Morning, Steve.
Sup, nigga? The test is easy. Simply swab the inside of your mouth and send it into our labs.
People made fun of me for being French. DNA and Me showed I was 8% Navajo. Nobody's making fun of me now or my people who were victims.
I'm 13% victim.
I'm 21% victim.
Order now and find out if your friends should be more sympathetic towards you. DNA and Me. Are you in? Hell yes, I'm in.
Second hour, Revenge of the Sis on your Friday show. Thank you for staying with us. We have a guest here in the second hour. Mike, if you want to set that up for me, I would appreciate it. This should be an easy one for you.
I don't know much about the guy. But no, joining us in this hour, we've been doing radio with this fuck for a decade at least. You've been doing radio with him longer.
Even longer, yeah.
But he is the man who designed our logo, too.
That's right. He helped us out in the beginning when we had nothing and no help, and he did it, and then he called us assholes, but he always does it.
And you still have nothing.
See, you see, fuck
one of the low-key funniest people I've ever seen before. What's up, buddy? How you been?
What's going on?
How you guys doing?
Mitchy
Hey.
Poo? It's funny because I talk to Mitch every day. But
Mitch is in a room with sunlight. Look at that. That's so
look
nice.
Look at this. It's so
I know,
professional.
right? Yeah.
You're looking good. Mitch is the producer, and I use that term loosely. Of Dutch, Dutch and Royce was a show, but now it's
Very
Hippo
loosely.
Juice. But he was.
If by producer you mean I go on Reddit for about 5 minutes and find you prep and then I'm done?
You see what I mean? He doesn't even try.
Dude, don't break the fourth wall. That's how most of these shows are produced. No.
So
I don't like doing this Revenge of the Sis show now because it feels like actual work.
Yeah. Oh, it
You know what I mean?
sucks.
People are actually now sending you legit like tips that you
Work.
have to chase
Work.
down, and
Things
you're like,
you have to look into.
wait, no,
people
I
care about your opinion.
You're like, wait a minute, I have to call the police department and do a Freedom of Information Act? I don't want to do that. That's fucking work.
So, Mitch was it's funny because we saw this thing basically from its inception through the other shows, and then it became national news in a documentary, and Alex Jones talked about it. But there was a concept for a movie. Him and some of your pals, and we'll get into that into a second. Made a concept trailer for a movie they were working on called Gray State.
Gray State.
See, so we what we're gonna do is first mention. I don't know if you can hear it now, but I'm quickly play the 2-minute and 40-second concept trailer.
Okay.
So people could at least see what we're talking about, and then we'll get into what happened. So this, what year was this, Mitch?
I believe that we released this in 2012.
Okay.
I think
2012. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and play the concept trailer for Gray State. Gray State. It's a guy waking up in a room. Like it says it happened while we were sleeping.
Oh, this is the original trailer.
Yeah. This
Okay.
so people know what everything goes. Then we'll do the documentary. RFID chips being installed. This is very, very, by the way, 5-6 years ago, Alex Jonesy.
Yeah. It's appropriate for that.
Yeah. So they have these like triangle things on them where they scan.
Yeah. Also, some elements of like a lot of this is based on like
based
American Christian Protestant paranoia and like the whole NWO thing and like
Right.
there's a lot of that stuff. Because I was raised with all this stuff.
Right. So it has people, crowding together, the TV. FEMA camp. There's the FEMA camp that Alex Jones was talking about.
FEMA camps, dude.
Those who panic die first. A bunch of soldiers holding FEMA shields. People holding the American flag. Boy, did you ever think it was going to be the exact opposite of this, Mitch? Which is people with shields throwing stuff at FEMA people. Someone holding the flag upside down, people getting beat up in the streets. A bunch of soldiers breaking into homes, taking people from their families, shooting people in the streets.
Getting killed by SWAT team looking dudes.
Yeah.
And Bundy Ranch type people.
Yeah, you guys
trying to
predicted
fight
that, by the way, the Bundy Ranch thing. So people shooting streets. By the way, if we're being honest,
You guys were the kings of squibs.
yeah, but not even that. This trailer looks better than like most trailers we've actually seen. Like,
Well, no, but that's what I'm saying. Like the way they
Yeah.
used effects, I will say, like the effects and stuff that you guys did were incredible.
Yeah.
And yeah, like when you see some TV shows. Now I know why Mitch is always such a cunt about all media and things that he watches.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because you've always been kind of an OCD maniac with that
Kind
stuff.
So that was the trailer. That was the trailer.
Could you imagine what that would have been like, though, if the Inception horde hadn't been invented? We could have used that so many times.
Oh, you're right, but you too late now. The Inception horde.
Yeah. Oh my God, you guys didn't even have Inception horns back then. Those things, boy, has that been overused to death. But we get it. There's tension. Jesus Christ.
So
you can have someone do a cappella cover of some kind of cover of a song, popular song.
It has to be a female soprano type voice.
You're right. Yeah.
And then you have to have a child say something creepy.
Well, Mitch,
It's an automatic one.
Even though you guys came out with this trailer of 6 years ago, I'm now gonna retrospectively judge you on today's thing. Why wasn't there more minorities in it? Like, I kind of feel like a trans soldier would have been good.
Yeah, like a nice
black soldier,
like a female person of color,
yeah,
strong character.
Why didn't you
main
do
character.
that?
Here's the thing with that. If you watch the trailer, you can see a lot of people got shot. And if we started shooting black people and brown people, I might have got a little bit of flack there.
Oh, okay.
I
Well,
don't
that's
know. I mean,
fair.
considering who you guys were probably going to market that movie.
Okay,
to.
you know what? You might have got
What happened?
All right, so we did that. Now, this is a whole journey we're going to take everyone through. So, how did this whole concept? How did it come up?
All right, so I'll start from the beginning here. So the idea came like at this time. Me and David were in film school.
David Crowley, by the way, so we know
David
we're talking-
Crowley.
yeah.
Yep. So we were in film school, and this was kind of like our in between the summer quarter or the spring quarter and the fall quarter or whatever like that. So we had a couple weeks in the summer to do a show or to do something. We're like, we need to do something. So we paired up with this other guy, Danny Mason, and we kind of started coming up with ideas for something. And it was kind of Danny's idea. It started with more of like demons and kind of mystical biblical shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then it kind of turned into basically government conspiracies and stuff because he had showed us like these angels that had kind of walked among the earth or whatever, proved like they were called the Nephilim. And then it devolved or got into like aliens and shit. And then it got into conspiracy theories because that's how things always go.
Now with the conspiracy theory things, so you guys are just basically trying to do a cool movie, right? Now the conspiracy thing, because of that, is that how David got down that path, the conspiracy path?
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. So as we're writing the script, we're like, oh, we could do or it was David's idea. I was never a writer, so I'm terrible at that shit. So they're like, okay, let's do a conspiracy movie because it's topical, it's interesting, and it's something that's actually doable instead of, trying to make fucking aliens and shit. So we kind of went down this route, and we planned out for months ahead of time. We're going to do a concept trailer. We're going to basically shoot a trailer before we have a story. And then we have hit points that we want to hit. So we want to do, the FEMA camps, the RFID chips, the, militarized police in the streets rioting or rounding up people. And then the underground revolutionaries or whatever trying to basically push the government out. So that's what started out. So then we shot the trailer, and it spent another year putting it together with effects and all of that shit. So
now we actually met the first time Mike and I ever met Mitch was at you guys
2012,
yes.
I believe,
you want,
because it was there was a Ron Paul rally or something like that. It was right before the before the election where Obama got reelected for the second time, I believe. So 2012 down in Tampa, there was it was a Republican National Convention. That's what it was. That was in town there in Tampa. And we were there to not only get the Ron Paul rally on like film and document and everything, but also get like the protests and shit that were happening in the streets of Tampa and all of the rallies and all of that stuff. So that was the first time that we went down there and had met you guys.
Yeah,
even though I didn't get to hang out with you long because
for 20 minutes, and you then ignored us.
But luckily, I had a buddy in town who hung out with us longer. Remember that? My buddy Pat came.
So yeah,
oh yeah.
So a little bit of side note. After we had finished shooting the trailer and putting it together, that's when David started getting into the conspiracy rabbit hole and starting getting more involved in the community, you could say. So because he wanted to build interest for this movie, and it obviously worked for him in as far as gaining interest, but he was kind of basically pre-selling the movie before the script was even written. Because this whole trailer was for a Indiegogo campaign to raise money to get the script written, do pre-production, do all of that shit, and then try to find funding for shooting the actual movie. At the same time that we were doing that, David was working on we were all working on a documentary called Gray State Documentary or whatever it was, which is basically real life events that inspired this film. So we did interviews with all kinds of people. We went all around the country. So we did the RNC protests, the Ron Paul rally in Florida. We went to the Bilderberg protests in Virginia. We went to Boston for something. We talked to what's the guy's name? Adam versus the Man. I don't know if you guys know who he is, but he's in DC. We interviewed a bunch of people like that. These are all like the people we interviewed. This is all truthers and that type of thing. The guys that said, 9/11's an inside job. Alex Jones, met him a couple times.
I remember.
So that's why we ended up down there in Tampa.
Now, so everything seemed to be going all right, and then I guess now it's when it gets a little gets really sad and really dark.
Yeah, there was so
what happened?
So there was kind of a shift, like in between the year of editing the trailer and working on the documentary. There was a shift in priorities on David's side where he was more focused on the documentary part of it. He wanted to find out the real stuff that was going on. He wanted to, just getting further and further down the rabbit hole. And that's why we kept doing all these things. And it was almost like, taking over his life. It was no longer, hey, let's hang out and just bullshit or whatever. It was like, we're going to get together, but we're going to work. Hey, have you seen this article about blah, 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 some underground bunkers or some shit, FEMA camps, all of the Walmarts are connected by a tunnel. They want to round shit like that.
And what's funny? I knew you were, because like I said, Mitch and I we've all been friends for a long time, and I knew that's the stuff that you were getting fed all the time because he used to send me messages. Read this crazy thing. I'm like, oh God, what is this?
Remember too, because years ago is when I started early on doing my Alex Jones impression, and I used to use Mitch. To feed me lines.
That's
right. He was getting he was like getting all of this shit thrown into his ears, and it was coming out of his mouth like a sausage maker. And it was like he knew it was bullshit, but he'd heard it all day. So I'd go, I need some stuff for Alex Jones, and he'd be like, oh yeah, there's tunnels underneath all the Walmarts connecting everything, and he would. I remember Soft Kill Poisons was one of that was one of the early ones that Mitch got stuck in my brain,
and that's become a staple of Alex Jones.
Soft Kill Poisons.
Soft Kill Poisons.
I'm obsessed with Soft Kill Poisons. And Mitch to this day will go, don't forget Soft Kill Poisons. Gotta leave
putting fluoride in her way. But there was like when we were doing the pre-production shooting the trailer and even a little bit in the documentary, there was like a very dark time of my life. This is before I not necessarily woke up, but I was like just reading into all of these things. I'm like, oh, this is really fucking depressing.
Right.
It's like, are all of these things happening? If all of these things that these conspiracies are saying,
right,
just disappearing people, suiciding people, or just all of this shit.
Black bags.
It's like this black bags, that type of stuff. And like RFID implants, the bigger reason behind having them is not just to pay for your fucking groceries at Whole Foods. It's to control you and track you and turn you off if basically turn you off and you're unable to buy shit or whatever. If you talk against the government, all these things. It's like, this is really sad. And it really put me down in a bad place. I was really depressed and sad. But then I hit this point where I'm like, I don't like how I'm feeling. Plus, if you follow every conspiracy theory deep enough, it leads to aliens. So I'm like, this is ridiculous. And another big one was the chemtrails. Like they're flying planes around and they're poisoning us from the sky. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, but they breathe the same air, aren't they poisoning themselves? Well, no, they're not, because it doesn't work that way.
They have vaccinations.
And that's like, it's that way with any kind of negative ideology. I mean, like when people like, it doesn't matter if you're a conspiracy nut or even like there are people like we were just ranting about in the last hour, like alt-right people and everything is the Jews and, the white man's under attack and we're all going to be wiped off this planet within one generation. And it's like, but when you don't go out in the sunshine once in a while and take in some positive shit and all day you just take in negative, you eventually are just like, God, I want to die. You're like, no, if you go out, like there's a nice park down the street, you could roll up a nice joint,
play with your dog,
there, smoke a doob, sit at the park and just zone out for like an hour. And afterwards you'll go, man, I feel much better. Like, so I get where he's coming from.
Yeah. So after I hit that wall, I'm like, no, this is stupid. Why am I sad? Why am I feeling this way? And then you read it more and you just look at the surface level of things and you look at like the science behind shit because I'm big into...
You're autistic.
Yeah, sure. We'll go with that. I like to look at science numbers and shit. I'm like, no, this doesn't work that way. You have to be stupid if you believe these things. And then I just did a complete instant 180 and I'm like, I am done with this whole world. I'm still going to help out because it's a movie and it's part of the, one of the businesses we started. I'm going to help out with it, but I don't believe a goddamn thing you're saying.
Well, I think 9/11 gave birth to a lot of those kind of people too, because everyone wanted it to be a conspiracy and everybody was like, those towers would never get brought down. And I'm like, look, I know a lot about, like, I grew up in New York. I have a lot of family that are like crooked construction union people and police officers, and everybody in New York's crooked. And like I was trying to explain to people because they're like, that building was pure concrete and steel. I'm like, have you ever seen these crooked construction companies? All the time they lie about what goes into a building. You don't think some company in the 70s was like, yep, those stairwells are completely encased in 100% American steel? No, it turned out they were made of drywall and shit. Like, there's no fucking shit those buildings went down. So like people start going, there's no way. And you're like, after burning for 2 hours, fucking all that shit going on. Yeah. And you find out, oh, wait, they used a lot more drywall than they originally told the truth about. Yeah, goodbye. They're gone.
So what, so that was what happened with you. What changes started happening with your friend David?
So he was getting, at this point, the trailer had been released. We had got our funding for Indiegogo and we were like, we'd asked for 50,000. I think we ended up pulling in 65 grand.
Oh, wow.
Through Indiegogo and PayPal donations and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So we were well into, at this point he got into script writing this is for the actual movie now for Gray State. This is the fictional movie part of that. So he got into full on writing mode and just did all day. It was just, 15, 18 hours a day, just researching, reading conspiracy theories, coming up with the most vile, horrible ways to kill people, basically. Buying books like the Anarchist Cookbook, and I don't remember what this other one was called, but it's basically different ways to assassinate people. And like there's very detailed shit.
That was Hillary Clinton's first book. It takes a village, parentheses, to kill people.
Yeah, it's called Never Heard of Them, the Hillary Clinton story.
Sorry, guys.
So he just kept getting into this deeper and deeper rabbit hole of the whole thing. And at this point, our school at about this point, we were freshly graduated from film school, from college. Mm-hmm. And I was at the point where like, I need a job. I need money. Like you are spending 18 hours a day writing a script. And I went to film school to, shoot movies and commercials and shit like that. I need some income coming in. So, cause I was doing part-time job, little, side projects here and there. And he was just full on 100% Gray State. So our two other businesses that we had, our Hothead Productions was our production company, and then we had Bullet Exchange, which was our prop rental company. Both of those were going down the hill because nothing was being put into those. Mm-hmm. So it got to a point where I'm like, okay, I still support you. I still love you. Still do what you got to do, but I can't be a part of this anymore because, first of all, I don't believe a goddamn thing you're saying, and the direction you're going with everything, it doesn't align with what I want to do and how I feel. And also I need money. So I need to find something that is going to pay my rent. Because I was like, when I left the business, I was probably 2 months away from running out of money, being out on the streets. I wouldn't be able to pay for my rent anymore. Shit. So.
Now, I'm curious about David though, because I know he was married, obviously, and
yep.
had a child.
He had a wife and a kid.
Yep. But I don't know. I mean, I know they covered some of this stuff, but our fans never saw haven't seen the documentary, although we've recommended it to them.
They will after this, I'm sure.
But did he ever? To me, it seems like I could spot a guy who's like 20 years old and go, yeah, that guy could potentially become a conspiracy nut someday. Did he ever show like that? Kind of like, had he ever become like utterly obsessed with other topics before? Or things
no,
like that?
Not real. I mean, he obsessive in the way that because he was I would put him in the category of a genius because whenever we were doing film shoots, he was always on another level as far as picturing, foreshadowing or foreseeing what he wanted to happen, how he wanted it to happen, what he wanted it to look like. And it wasn't just, video shoots. It was everything. He was very gifted. He was a gifted musician, gifted video editor, just usually pretty good at everything that he could put his hands on. He was a good writer, good at drawing, everything. He was good at all of this stuff. So he was on a different level. And I was always the one there that kind of took whatever rambling bullshit that he would come up in his mind and try to put it in a way that normies could understand. Mm-hmm. And then we could actually get the things done. So I could see where the obsessive thing would come in. And I think this is what it is with conspiracy theories is when you are on a level of, intelligence where everything needs to have a place, everything needs to have a reason, but then something like 9/11 happens or whatever, you don't have a reasoning for that. You don't know why this happened. So you are just going to grab at straws and the first thing that you can find that makes sense, despite how fucking mangled and garbled and how many loopholes and shit you have to do to get there. If it comes up with an answer to you, that's what you are going to believe. Right. So I can see how that could have pulled him into that world.
I also notice that really, really smart people sometimes have this odd naivete to them where like they might be geniuses at so many things, but they can't conceive that 19, crazy people under a certain guy's
Right,
leadership
right.
might just do a really evil thing because
They
they
can't
conceive of that.
accept it. I might have said this before. I don't know if I said this in the documentary or not, but they can't accept that shit happens.
Now, the documentary was called Gray State: The Rise, right?
That's what it was. The documentary we were working on was called Gray State: The Rise.
Okay.
So that was all of the interviews with Alex Jones and all of these truthers and conspiracy theorists, all the Bilderberg shit. That was all in there.
Right. And that, by the way, that whole documentary's on YouTube.
It's a very rough cut. It's not,
but it's up there.
It wasn't
Now-
its final, but yes, it is. It is up there. It's
Now,
like 2.5 hours long.
The documentary that you did for A&E, what was that called?
Yeah. So, we need to jump back a little bit.
Oh, that's
because
right.
think
Well, I was
people
going
aren't
to
understand.
I was going to
why
get
there
into
was a
that.
documentary made about this.
I was
right?
going to say that first. But what's the name of the documentary? And then I was going to then go into that.
Okay. Okay. So the documentary that A&E made was called A Gray State.
A Gray State. Now, man, this is the part where it's sad, and we giggle because that's how we handle things.
Oh, yeah.
But it turns out, and that why people listening probably notice that we're talking about David in the past tense. What happened that this documentary was made?
So I don't remember when this was, but when I had told David that I was out of the business, I'm like, I'm done. We signed our legal paperwork or whatever that basically dissolved me from the company, and I handed over any legal rights, anything, any stake that I had in the company over to him. So this was, I think, October-ish, I believe, is when this happened. And, I went to his house. We were still friends and everything, but I went to his house, and he looked like shit. He was always a big, like a muscular, fit, strong guy, right? And when I went to his house to give him the rest of the whatever Gray State scripts and whatever other shit I had, he was skinny, his eyes were sunken in, and he just looked like shit. And I'm like, you got to eat or something, But, we left on good terms. And then in December of that year, which was 2014, I believe, they think around Christmas time, he ended up killing his wife and his kid and then killing himself. A murder-suicide.
Jesus Christ.
And I remember that too, because I remember when when it happened, Mitch posted the news article, and I was like, "Oh shit, I met that guy. Like I know, like that whole, like I was at work and I had to just go sit down for a minute. I barely knew him, but that's the kind of thing that's just that time of year and those circumstances. It was heavy,
right? And he was, but we were friends in high school. We joined the Army together. I had known him at this point for like 15 years. So, and the thing is, like, when he would do his writing, he would push people away for like a month or 2 months at a time. He would just kind of disappear, and then he'd come back. So then with me being out of the business, and then when he ended up killing his family and himself in December, they didn't find him until January. They didn't find him until like a month later in the house, when the neighbors were finally like, the driveway hasn't been shoveled. There's still packages on the door from Christmas. There's still, just some weird shit going on. So the neighbors went over there and they saw the bodies through the window and called the police. So, but then when everyone's like, well, how come none of his friends knew? It had to have been a government thing. Why didn't any of his friends know that he did this? Like, because it wasn't out of character for him to disappear for a year. Plus, in all this time, he had been pushing away people that couldn't help him out. People that couldn't directly do stuff for him for the movie, he pushed them away out of his life. He mass unfriended people from Facebook, made things private, and just cut anyone out from the outside world out of his life.
And that then led to, I guess the board is, ironically, more conspiracy theories.
Yeah, so there's a ton of conspiracy theories out there because, this whole movie was about conspiracy theories. So then when he killed himself and his family, they're like, oh, this was the government doesn't like what this movie's about, so they killed him. They buried the project and they killed him, and they made it look like a suicide.
Yeah,
and they still go on today. There's still two fucking guys. They made this Facebook page called Justice for David Crowley.
I've seen the page. I've been on there.
They still to this day put out weekly fucking videos or whatever, case reports and shit like that of, why the government did this, and it's just a fucking.
I've seen some of their podcasts.
Ridiculous that they're still fucking out there.
I've seen some of their podcasts. Spoiler alert: they're not that good. It's literally just some guy yammering into a camera, into a laptop mic, going, so this is week 187, and we are, and you're like, Jesus Christ. And they're just breaking down minute details from 4 years ago. You know, in a statement, this Mitch Heil guy says that, but why did he say it that way? And you're like, I don't know.
Oh, yeah, they accuse you of being gay. We had,
well, you know, even a broken clock is right twice a day.
That's not a conspiracy theory. That's just DNA.
They just looked at his shirt collar. So
you talked about it on our show, and I do remember that same page you're talking about. They started going, yeah, and you got to bear through this show. But if you listen to Mitch, he clearly is covering up, and like now you've become part of the conspiracy.
Yeah, you're part of the.
Oh yeah,
Illuminati.
Yeah, I'm part of it. They think that, what was it? They said. They at one point they had said that these are not our real names. My name is not Mitch Heil. It's something, you know, because Heil, Nazi.
Well, everybody knows. So everybody knows your real name is Steve Dukakis. We know that. But
yeah,
I'm not going to add it. Oh, damn it! I said it on the air. Oh no!
Hey, trying to be.
God damn
and
it!
then,
Google Trend
David
searches
Crowley
for
was
Steve
not-
Dukakis are going to skyrocket.
Great. Now
today.
Steve Dukakis is trending on Twitter. Go ahead.
And they said that David Crowley was not his real name because of, you know, Mr. Crowley or whatever that fucking Aleister Crowley, that murder or whatever it was. And then Danny Mason was not his real name because his last name is Mason. It's obviously a cover-up. It's a psyop.
Oh,
Other
God.
Stonemason.
Oh, my
St-
God.
Stonemasons.
I didn't even think of that. That's so. Oh, God. These people must be fucking frothing all the time.
Yeah, because
over
your
this.
last name is Heil. That's your real last
Oh,
name.
my God.
All your
I
last.
can say without a shadow of a doubt, these are indeed our real names. I have a birth
This is
certificate for
fucking-
myself. I don't have their birth certificate.
Birth certificates
but I
are
knew David
easily-
for 15 years, and before any of this happened, his name was still David Crowley.
Birth certificates are easily doctored. Alex Jones already told us that. He's the CIA.
So look, I'm happy we have Mitch on because I've wanted to do this gray state thing for a while.
Yeah.
'Cause I know you guys did it on your show, but like I actually when I don't know if it was before or after I think it was after the holidays. I came back from New York and then I got really, really sick, and then I was here at the house alone for like a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched a gray state while I was sick as a dog and alone, and there was a cold front in town.
That's
and
rough.
I like literally wanted to die after I watched it. Like I was so like when you're sick and sober and you're like cold and you're watching it, and I'm like, oh God, this was the worst. And it was the time of year that it happened. I was like,
Yeah, it was
this
Christmas.
the-
Like this was just a complete coincidence, whatever. But they released this documentary on Netflix on Christmas.
Yeah, I don't know
of last year.
I don't know what they were doing with that, but yeah. So I ended up becoming like really bummed out and thinking about it a lot. But it made me wonder too, like, because the way they kind of presented it too, it seems as if there might have been a bit of a enabling of his condition a bit by perhaps by the missus. And I'm not knocking her in any way. I just think that maybe there was a bit of a from what I observed from their home videos and stuff, there was a lot of like codependency and just a kind of an odd dynamic.
I would agree with that because she was also a very intelligent person. So, David was he's a not controlling, but he's very convincing. You know, when he would tell you something, he could convince you something is real or to believe in something. So, I could see how she might fall into some of those same types of things.
And adding to the fueling of the conspiracies, of course, she had a Middle Eastern background too. So that, of course,
Yeah,
made
she
people
was
go nuts,
born
too.
in Pakistan, and then moved to the United States at some point. I don't remember when, but
Now, yeah, the documentary was called The Gray State. It's on net. By the way, anyone listening, you'll watch it after the show. But by the way, be
Please
forewarned.
don't watch it if you're in a good mood today.
Don't. I would recommend don't
Don't
watch
watch it in a bad mood either.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really know. I don't know what to recommend to be what mood to be in to
Well,
watch it.
okay,
I have a
don't-
fear though.
I'll tell you what. If you're in a very kind of cold mood,
Yeah.
Just kind of an indifferent, factual, want to watch
That
something.
one works.
Yeah, but
if you've been, if you've been on like a hot streak, you've been happy for like 2 weeks solid,
And
you
you know how
need
to
to
break
turn
it
yourself
up?
around. Then you can watch it. Yeah.
Yeah, because you know it's going to turn around naturally anyway in the next day
Yeah.
or
So
two.
just
so
do that.
you might
This will
as-
do it. The director of it called it the feel bad movie of the year.
No, it is true. It has 100%, by the way, on Rotten Tomatoes. It's called A Gray State. It's on Netflix, and the guy who directed it was the guy. He was involved in the Grizzly Man movie too, right?
Yeah, it was Werner Herzog was the executive producer for it, and then Eric Nelson was the director for this one. So Werner Herzog directed Grizzly Man, and Eric Nelson helped produce Grizzly Man, and they've done a bunch of stuff together, documentaries. He's got like 100 fucking documentaries on him or something.
This is the big question for me because this is the part of this that I'm obsessed with. As I watched A Gray State. Now, they found him, he wrote some stuff on the walls, and he left a note behind he wrote Allahu Akbar on the walls, and then he wrote something about submitting to Allah.
He wrote "Open the Rise" and then submit to
says
Allah.
it was watch the rise, submit to Allah.
Right.
And I can confirm that was his handwriting because I had seen his handwriting thousands of times. So he did write that.
Mm-hmm. And I read an article where they said like they kind of dismissed it as like, oh, he said it in a bit of a parting, sarcastic shot at like his wife's ex-religion or whatever. But like, I don't know, man. That always bugged me. Like, not in a conspiratorial way.
No, I know what you mean.
But like,
I'm the same way. Because he was, despite the things he did, he was still big on human rights and equality for women and everything like that. So there was always like, Muslims are not known for their human rights and their equality to women and stuff like that. So he was not happy with some things that they do or the way they are. Mm-hmm. So as far as why he wrote that part, I have no idea. I couldn't even give you the slightest clue. I have no idea.
It's still the part that always bugged me the most. Like, because I almost feel like, I don't know, like I always consider the angle that it was a genuine thing, and that's, I don't know, I guess that's always the part that that's like the big. I guess these conspiracy nuts have turned every little detail into a mystery, and knowing Mitch and knowing how earnest he is and how this played out, I believe the way they said it happened. That part just always really bugged me because again, if I get into these kind of rabbit holes, not conspiracy wise. I go down tragedy rabbit holes. And my thing is, I don't really do like, it was an inside job and Bush and the Jews got together and they're organized. Like, I know that a lot of things are senseless and horrible, but yet I'll sit there and try to figure them out over and over again. And that's just always been one of those things that always kind of rattled around in my brain. Like, why did you do that? You sent everybody into a fucking tailspin.
Do you think that him going down that conspiracy lane is what pushed him to such a dark place, or because
100%?
Because from what I saw from documentary and obviously from talking to you, you said he seemed like a normal guy, who did, smart guy,
normal guy, very very talented, promising future,
right?
And I think also part of it was, he had finished. When he wrote the script, he had sent it off to some professional script writers. Like Linda Seeger is a professional script doctor, and she tore it apart. And that was like for someone who is not used to hearing negatives about your work, that was a real kick in the balls. And I don't think he was necessarily prepared for that. So, but he eventually did take, her advice and made some changes to it, took other people's advice, made some changes to it. And then at that point he went to Hollywood and he was shopping it out to producers to basically get funding to make it. And there was like a couple places turned him down. There was one group of producers who were ready to say the okay for it and they were ready to greenlight it or whatever, basically. And then something fell through. I don't know the details about it because I was out at this point. And he, cuts people out. So
I have to say,
I don't know, but I hear that the funding fell through and it wasn't going to happen. And since he wasn't bringing in an income and his wife kind of wasn't really, like, she had done a couple things, but I think she was getting pulled away from the outside world too. So there wasn't, money coming in. I think there was some money issues too.
Yeah, and that's actually on a funnier note. I will say one of the funnier parts, one of the only parts that made me actually at least kind of chuckle when I watched A Gray State was the scene with the producers when they played the tapes back of him planning on talking to them. How angry one of those producers was during the segment. I don't know why. I was like, man, I needed a laugh during this. So that part was really funny.
I'll give a little bit of like, so when these producers met with David, they're like, wow, he's really well spoken. He really knows what knows his shit. He really knows how he wants this to go. And then David, being a pseudo crazy person, recorded everything in his life. So all of his family videos, everything that he was doing for the documentary, it was all recorded. So there is a audio playback of him rehearsing exactly how this interview is going to go, and any questions they might have, how he's going to spin it and basically control these producers. And it was when I saw that, I'm like, holy shit, that is crazy.
It was like a 5-minute, 10-minute tape of pure sociopathic planning,
gambling,
like little finger planning to the point where, and then they played the I have to laugh at this, like no, it's a sad story, but they played the tape for these producers years later for the documentary. And they're sitting there listening, and you're watching them slowly, and they just got done saying nice things about him, and then they play the tape, and he's going, that son of a bitch. Like, the guy was so mad. You want to manipulate me like that? Like, he was just mad at this dead guy from like 3 years ago. And I couldn't help but laugh at that point in the movie because it's like, I'd probably react the same way. Like, if somebody went, yeah, remember this meeting from years ago you had with this guy? Sure. Here's a tape of him talking about you before he met you. And it's all about, yeah, so look, first of all, Royce is a fat, dumb idiot. And that guy, Mersh, he's a fucking drunk idiot moron. We can manipulate these two faggots easily. And like, yeah, I'd be sitting there going, you fucking, hey, are you mad at this, Royce?
I'm fucking
I'm pretty
angry.
pissed off.
This
Like,
guy's a jerk.
He was being nice at the meeting. I thought he liked us.
Yeah. But yeah, and you were part of that documentary, right? I guess we should also bring that up. You
yeah, I was in that.
He was in it
I had, because after the whole thing happened, I was getting calls for interviews left and right from local people, conspiracy people, everything. I turned down every single media appearance, every single thing, other than the time I talked on your guys' show. But I turned everything down because I knew how these conspiracy people work. And if you give them anything, they're going to run with it. Yeah. So this I feel bad for this local news reporter. She sent me a message on Facebook, and she's like, hey, do you want to talk about this thing? I'm like, nope, I don't, and blah, blah, blah. So she talked to some other people and got interviews and put this article out. And these fucking conspiracy people started going after her and saying she was a bad journalist and fake journalist, whatever. Just all this shit. And then a week or whatever later, I messaged her. I'm like, yeah, so you can see why I didn't want to talk to you, right? And she's like, I had no idea.
Yeah, and you knew well. And again, by the way, if you know Mitch, I feel bad for anyone that has to try to interview Mitch, because even when we had the director on, we had Eric Nelson on the Hippo Jew show, we were interviewing him, and Mitch was there. And didn't you at some point make a joke about Joseph Goebbels being a great director?
I did. I don't. He's like
the exact line.
I don't remember
the
what it
exact
was.
line is we were talking about great directors,
Yes.
and then we were talking about great German directors, and who was because we were talking about Werner Herzog, and we're like, who are some other great German directors? And this idiot goes Joseph Goebbels.
Joseph Goebbels,
and I fucking died. I almost died that night.
Yeah. So, now do you still get people, the fucking conspiracy nuts, throwing your name around? Because by the way, I feel bad for you, Mitch, because now when you Google your name, it's not your Facebook. It's not the first thing that comes up.
My Google has been ruined. When you look for me, it's not fun stuff anymore.
Yeah.
It's all just sadness and whatever. So don't be me.
God, I just Googled. Yeah, you're right. Every time you just put your name in, and it's just.
What's funny is too that in that documentary I watched it too, and look, being friends with Mitch, it gives me this opportunity where you kind of struggle, because on one hand you want your friend, to shine, But on the other hand, he's your friend, and you want him to get you want to be able to shit on him,
Right. Or knock him down.
And
Yeah.
watching Mitch only get like 2 sentences in the whole thing, and I was like, I did laugh at that. I was like, it literally just they used Mitch the way they use eyewitness reports in the news.
It was like, you know, it was
a
like
whole paragraph, and they go, it was totally crazy, and that's all they use.
It's one of those selfish things, you know. It's like, okay, the story's not out about me, but I kind of wish I was in it more.
Yeah,
'Cause
no,
I think
obviously.
my interview was like an hour long or an hour and a half long.
And you know, it's funny. And I remember even after the interview, before the movie came out, because we went through the whole process with Mitch. He was like, yeah, no, it went really well. You know, I said a lot of stuff. It's going to be great. And then all of a sudden, it was like one of those. So, Mitch, what do you think? Well, and then they just move on to the next person.
Well, I also know
Here's a dog.
I know the amount of effort it takes to get Mitch to go talk to people.
No, anybody-
drive in a car and go to a place and then have them mic you and put and then sit there. Like, I know the pain he had to go through for that. So
I'm his friend, and
here's the other thing I think though.
Yeah.
Because you guys know my sense of humor and just the dumb shit I say, like that
Yes.
Joseph Goebbels joke or whatever. That's how my entire interview was.
That's
So I
probably why you
guess
got
everyone, I wasn't paying attention, but apparently everyone that was just singing in the background was like quietly laughing to themselves because of just the shit I was saying, because this very candid way of making horrible things into jokes.
Yes, we know.
And
we're all very aware.
Very
of
much
that.
aware.
We know.
No, it's what makes him one of my favorite people, though, because he doesn't have that. Like there's very few people left in this world that don't have the filter. They just go, no, I know this is funny and has to be said.
Well, when the
You know?
when
There's a certain purity to that.
When the terrible thing happened with your friend, with David, Mitch was, by the way, the first person to make a joke about it. And it was like 2 or 3 days afterwards. It was like, Jesus Christ. And of course, I died laughing. But I'm like,
you have
holy
to get
fuck.
to a certain point. You have to get to a certain point because I don't know what it is for you guys, but like for me, it was when I was in the army, you know, in Afghanistan and Iraq, like you could die at any point. You get this really dark sense of humor. So you find weird shit funny. And it's just how you cope with life and how you deal with tragedy is you just have to laugh. You just have to have fun. Otherwise, what's the point?
Mitch once told my sister, I wish you had married my best friend.
That's right.
And I fucking died laughing.
That was really funny.
I died laughing. And I was like, God damn it, man. Jesus Christ.
By the way, I don't know, because Mitch did serve in the army.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service, sir.
Yeah, I know you guys love hearing that.
Yeah, you love it. You're a real hero. Let me buy you a beer. Well, you probably like the buying the beer part.
Could you buy me a beer
part, yeah.
quietly? Could you just send one over, though, and not give me the whole standing
I don't
want
want
to
to talk
table?
to you. I don't need you to fucking stand saluting me.
You guys are heroes. Cool. I'm a hero who really likes his solace.
You know what I call Mitch? I call Mitch ruiner of every good military movie. Because every time you watch a good one, you talk Mitch, he goes, fuck it. What was the Hurt Locker was garbage. It was all
that movie's
crap.
hot
See,
garbage.
it's
That's terrible.
Generation
Although I
Kill
will
is
say,
accurate.
I will say the Benghazi movie is good. I like that one. The one with John Krasinski.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
that one was
that's right.
good. Despite being sad, the entire time you're watching it, you just have this bad feeling in your stomach because you already know what's going to happen, and you just feel terrible. And you're like, oh, these poor guys are all going to die.
Hey, don't spoil it for me. I haven't heard anything about Benghazi.
Yeah, no.
Hillary did nothing.
Where's that? One of them, that's somewhere near Israel, right?
Yeah. I thought Benghazi was a dude that opened up for Jason Mraz.
All I know is it has something to do with some emails. I don't know. I never checked.
Who knows?
I don't check my emails.
Water under the bridge. But yeah, no, you know, and it does suck that your name is now kind of fucking wrecked every time you search it. But let's be honest, your last name did already have great connotations to begin with.
Why is his name wrecked? He didn't fucking kill anybody.
That's my. I know, but
he's the one. Like it should be Mitch Heil, the one who didn't do it.
Well, that's not what comes up when you Google it.
You know what you got to do. You got to write a song like, don't diddle kids, don't ever diddle kids, something like that, and then people will know. You just do a Frank Reynolds.
Yeah.
Don't kill your wife. I don't do that. I'm a good photographer. Yeah. I film good things. Mitch Heil, bing, bang, boom.
You should do that.
Run
Put that on
commercials.
YouTube. Be the first
Like
thing that pops up. Oh shit! Well, thank you. But it's the end of the show, Mitch, and obviously we could talk to you forever. But thank you.
Yeah, but I'm about to go home, so fuck that.
By the way, I love your setup that you have there because behind him he has the American flag blowing in the wind.
No, I don't.
Yeah, you do.
I?
Right behind you.
Oh, that's the office. Yeah. It's the office building. I can't help that.
Yeah, respect Old Glory, you faggot.
Yeah, fucking asshole. So what we'll do is with this interview, we'll
I've
do
been petitioning for them to put up a Mexican flag, but they won't do it.
And honestly, I would even say, look, man, we would love to have Mitch promote some of his projects through social media. But to be honest, he doesn't want to speak
I'm
to
not
any
going
of
to.
you. Yeah, he doesn't want to speak to any of you people.
Mitch wants to just go back to his house and make his own beer. Because it's what he does.
So good.
Grow his own
delicious.
hops and decide, I'm going to make my homemade beer and I don't want anyone to talk to me. Even sometimes I'll go up there to visit Mitch and his wife, and we'll be up there, and he'll maybe say 5 words to me. And that's him opening up.
But they're funny words.
That's fair.
But look, guys enjoy each other's company.
Quietly.
Yeah, we don't need to fucking, you know what I mean? Guys, like, that's why King of the Hill is so accurate, because you can just stand there five deep, chugging a beer, and nobody say a word, and it's like a symphony of emotion.
Yep.
It's magic. Men connect without the whole, like, did you hear divorce? No, guys are just a burp. Yeah. Just a fucking, that's it, man.
Oh, but thank you for being on, Mitch. That was
No
a lot
problem.
of fun. You could hear Mitch.
If I have any more friends that kill themselves and make a documentary, I'll be sure to give you guys a call.
Oh, give us the
thank
exclusive.
you. We want we want all the exclusives. Don't
honestly,
push anyone to it.
And honestly, it'd really help if you call us beforehand.
Yeah, because then we could break
Then
it.
we could really get it.
But if you want to hear Mitch, he's on every Wednesday on Hippo Juice at 8 o'clock on More Like Radio. Thanks for being on, dude.
No problem. Talk to you guys later.
All right,
Take it easy,
later.
man. I love Mitch.
Mitch is my fucking favorite.
I don't look again. I don't find many people funny, but Mitch is among those people that he doesn't speak often, but when he does, it's a fuck. He's like when it comes to comedy, you can consider him like a sniper. He'll only pop off 3 shots the entire war, but they're all headshots, and they're all like captains or generals.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
you're
Like,
right.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah.
And then he just hides out in the bushes for another 6 months.
Yeah. If you want to watch A Gray State, the documentary again, I wouldn't recommend watch it tonight unless you want to be depressed all week, and maybe watch it Sunday night before work because you're gonna be pissed off anyway. But it's a Gray State. It's on Netflix. Watch it, and you could see more in depth about this whole story. It definitely is not going to be as entertaining as Mitch was, but it is absolutely. It's a rough one, but definitely check it out. It's time for us to go though, folks. RevengeOfTheSys.com/donate. That's how you help us out. If you want to become a patron, if you like what you hear and help us keep growing the show, go to patreon.com/we're-not-sorry. Become a patron. If you want to help us get to DC, which will be in September now for sure.
Yeah, we're not.
The more rally. Donate at streamlabs.com/revenge of the Sis. I'm sure Mike will be doing some night waves this weekend, so make sure you stay tuned to those.
Yeah, I don't know if it's tonight or tomorrow. It depends. I don't know what you're doing.
Well, I'm leaving tonight. So
That's what
I'm
I
going
feel.
out
So
of
tonight,
town.
probably.
10 Anything else
o'clock.
we need to plug? Oh, make sure if you're watching this now, you hit the like button. If it's first time watching, hit the subscribe button. Leave a comment. iTunes, if you listen through there, give us a rating. Give us 5 stars. Write something nice. We would appreciate it. To all the patrons, we will thank you for your service on Monday. I'm sorry we didn't get to it today. We just had so much stuff, but there was some new patrons, and we really want to thank you guys. We will be back Monday. Revenge of the Sis.